Flory Models daily vlog. Here we are on Friday, 31st of July 2015, and as I say, it's only been a few hours ago since I did the last one, so to be honest, not a lot's happened. Thought we'd just have a quick recap this week. Start off with, obviously, on Monday, Tuesday, you had parts 7 and 6. I know, mental breakdown, so you had them in the wrong order, but obviously for the Typhoon, which is finished now from my point of view, with the LEDs and the lighting and the engine and everything else. Thank you for all your kind comments on that one for the guys who've seen it already on Facebook. Beautiful, love that one now. One of those kits, to be honest, started it, as I said, it's quite boring. Got into it now, love it. Actually one of my favourite ones I've done in a long time. Then obviously this lump, which part 10 went up. We talked about scraping back and weathering and all the rest of it. And as you saw last night, we haven't seen it now, we are really making headway on here. I've actually this morning done a little bit more work on it. So we've done a little bit of work in the cockpit. We've got the actual glass work installed now, and a few things have been secured down and put into their permanent positions and everything else. The gear terrifies me, it is so wobbly on this thing. But generally, this thing, to start with, I must admit, I bought two. I was going to do one in flight and I had all those great ideas of grandeur with it. Those went out the window because it is quite a complex kit. It's definitely not a kit for the beginner, but what it does enable you to do is to do something straight out of the box and have a lovely looking aircraft. Or you can do what I've done and rip it open to expose some of this great detail that's inside a lot of these modern kits now. And to be honest, doing this one, it is one of those things. It doesn't take much to turn it from being pretty much a standard kit to something very special, because don't forget, we've got no real aftermarket in here. There's no resin in here. There's no photo etch in here because I haven't used it. It's in the box behind me. And we haven't, you know, a couple of little things. We've used different decals for the bezels and things like that. But apart from that, from an overall point of view, what we've managed to achieve here is straight out of the box by cutting open a couple of wing panels, a few things on the sides, things like that, just to open it up and expose it. Makes it look so much better. And hopefully I think you agree, you know, this would be your kit side, so to speak, and this is why I've done it here, that you could have it exposed like this, and you could have a you know, obviously the gun bays open, but what we've decided to do is rip it open and expose all this lovely work that's inside. And I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. A lot of people wouldn't like to see it completely opened like this, and you want to see it more like the flight line. I get it, because quite frankly, the Typhoon gear up looks so much better than it does gear down. It just looks like it should fly, this thing, so I agree. And it is great to do things in flight. Prop aircraft though, to get a realistic spinner, apart from this thing is motorized, if we can ever get it to work, you know, it's just one of those things. Prop aircraft just don't look that good displayed in flight. Jet aircraft look great in flight because that's where they look, but prop stuff, if somebody invent me a decent blurred prop spinner, then I'll go with it, apart from putting a motor in it. Then you've got the things, obviously fitting it, electronics, where to put the batteries and all those hassles that come with it. But certainly from my point of view, I'm absolutely loving this one. This is, to be honest, what I love to do. I love to take an aircraft that is got some potential, shall we say, and then really go to town on it. And then, like me, you can probably tell on this one, I tend to get carried away with the weathering. I like to have something that suits or can tell a story, okay? So sometimes you do some weathering that suits an aircraft, like we did on the Typhoon. It's just got some, you know, very simple post shading right the way over it, just to break it up. And then that way you're away, you know, and good to go. And it just works with the pre-shading that was down before, and that's it, very simple. This one on here, okay, is a little bit more complex, but it's nothing that anybody can't do. It's literally sanding back, scrubbing back. All you need is some sanders, get some worn ones, and then just take your time. And it is a thing, it's time. Just generally working very slowly, very methodically, and keeping it even everywhere. So don't just do a wing, then move on to the next wing. Do a bit on the wing, do a bit on the wing, do a bit on the body. So that way it's all around together. And that way it can tell a story. This particular one, hopefully, it's saying it's had a lot of battle damage. It might have taken some flak up through the wheel well, something else like that. It's now been stripped back, skinned back, it's been opened up, it's being checked. Perhaps the engine was playing up. Let's face it, the Typhoon's engine was problematic at best in real life. But certainly by having it all open, and by the time we had all the wiring and the various bits in there, I intend to get the electrical from, at the moment it's hanging out the bottom, you've probably seen it, to bring it up, and I'm going to bring it out the side. I might put it down looking like it's a welding unit, some type of things, so we can run the battery to some acetylene bottles or something else like that down there. I've been experimenting with little batteries as well. I've got a little 3-volt one as well. So I'm pretty sure we can hide that in a little bit of equipment just around this one, because I would like to put it on a little diorama base so it does tell the story. But generally I think that's what it is. It's just that thing of taking your time and having an idea in your head and let it develop. And I know a lot of people, and I'm going to get shot down in flames for this, but they'll get a photo and it'll be, I'm going to copy this. Yeah, I don't work like that. I'm not one of these people who gets reference photos out and then I'm going to copy them, especially World War II. I tend to think, right, okay, it's my model, it's my story. I'm going to develop it and weather it to how I think it's going, and the model does it for me. I don't weather it, it weathers me, because it will then start to go. And if I over sand an area, then we'll try and do something, and we're going to create a thing. There's a couple of areas on this one we sanded right through to plastic. No problem, we've just gone in, we've gone in with the actual chipping, and we've put the actual metallizers into that scuff. Now it looks like it's just down to metal, and it's solved all the problems. So I think sometimes guys can be a little bit overcomplicate things, so I tend to try and keep it as simple as possible, and hopefully I think you agree it actually pays dividends when you can actually just sit back from it and go, yeah, that worked, I'm happy with that. I'm more than happy with this one. It actually turned out absolutely fantastic. There we go, that's my waffle on for a Friday. A couple of things going on at the moment we've got to talk about because I haven't mentioned them so far. We've got the Run Silent Run Deep, which is the SIG running at the moment. Obviously it's submarine based, no periscopes out of water. I know I said I'll do it, it was a joke, all right? But anyway, that's going to run until the 15th of November. God, that means 6 months. It's Telford. Jesus, we work for Telford every year. That's our major thing. So yeah, that just shows how quickly that's coming around. Where's Me Top SIG is going on at the moment. That's going to run till the 6th of September. So obviously this is anything which doesn't have a manufactured roof on it, i.e. rag tops, doesn't have a roof, anything else like that count. Those are going on. A question appeared actually in the forum I want to talk about this week, where somebody put up about having winners for SIGs. No, never, ever. I do not go along with that at all, and it will never happen on my forum. I don't believe we should have winners for SIGs, simply because SIGs are supposed to be just a group of people building along together. There should be no competition in it, because it is purely fun and research based and generally helping out each other and all the rest of it, as the group builds are. But the group builds, because obviously we tend to, you know, it's a bigger thing, it's huge. We give away basically £1,000 worth of prizes, medals, and obviously the bits and pieces you're going to get. We'll talk about that in a moment. You know, it costs us usually around about £1,000. That's our budget for it. So obviously there is something to gain out of it. So if you do want to go that a little bit further, and with the group builds, the way that one works is it's nothing to do really with the finished model. It's how helpful you've been as a member to other members during the group build, how helpful you've been, how much you've helped the other people out. It may be that somebody said, oh, how do I do this, and you've explained it in depth, sent them a link, something else like that. That's great, that gives you kudos for it. It may be somebody said, I need decals for such and such, I've just wrecked mine. People send you decals. We've had it with people broken canopies, and people have taken canopies off of old models to give to you in the past, things like that. That is brilliant. That is what we are all about here at Flory Models. It's got nothing to do with who wins and the prizes and all the rest of it. If you want to do that, go and join IPMS and enter competitions for it. From my point of view, I like to do this for the hobby, for the enjoyment and the participation. Okay, so that is why it is. But as I said, with the actual group builds, because it's a bigger thing, we always have a couple of winners, but it's more down to the person and how helpful they are in the group build than it actually is their model. As you say, 75% of the points of my scoring system goes to the helpfulness and actually their own build overall, how it actually works. 25% then is made up of their own model. So technically somebody who's put 2 wings on a cocktail stick and all the rest of it could win if they've been really helpful to everybody else. Sounds funny, but that's how I do it, okay? So speaking of which, the red versus blue, which is our sort of Russia versus the USA, that's going to run till the 12th of December. Jesus, that means it's Christmas. So yeah, so we've got 3 months to Telford, 6 months to Christmas. So anyway, got loads of time to go on that one. So, obviously with your group builds, don't overdo it. I know a lot of you panic at the end that you haven't got enough time. Just think about it methodically and try and keep up with a certain build, because I know loads of you fell short with the last group build, that you didn't actually get a completion on it through one thing or another. We know the summer one's bad, because what happens is in the summer we all do it, we go out far more and you forget about your modelling. Okay, so when you're doing these things, just sort of keep a track of where the things are, when things are ending and everything else like that, and you'll be absolutely fine. Right, so that's about it for this week. As I say, we've got the barbecue tomorrow, so good luck to everybody coming down here and all the rest of it. Hopefully the weather's going to play ball. It's beautiful out there at the moment. There's not a breath of wind, there isn't a cloud in the sky, so that means it's probably going to rain tomorrow, but I don't want to jinx it, but it'll be fine. So if you are coming down, as I say, we're going to see you from 12 o'clock midday onwards, and then it'll finish when, I don't know, the last person passes out probably. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave you again with some more of your great work from this week. So until next week everybody, happy modelling, take care.